Time Warner Cable and Metro Sports presents RacinBoys TV with Scott Traylor and Kirk Elliott. A look at racing in the Midwest and around the country. Brought to you in part by McCarthy Chevrolet and RacinBoys.com.
Welcome to another edition of RacinBoys TV, brought to you by McCarthy Chevrolet. I'm Scott Traylor. He's Kirk Elliott. We are the RacinBoys from Sports Radio 810 WHB. And Kirk, we're out at Kansas Speedway again this week. And behind us, we have a bunch of brand new tires that all have slices in them. Why is that? They're going to use these tires to help the track surface break in before this fall's race.
Yeah, and all of these tires have cuts in them too, so you can't reuse these tires, but as Scott mentioned, they are all brand new tires and really should put a great deal of rubber in the racetrack and try to make for as good a racing as possible when they come back here in October.
Pat Warren and Chris Schwartz are going to do their best to make sure we have two grooves when it comes to October here at Kansas Speedway. Well, as we do each and every week, we start off with the racing headlines here on RacinBoys TV, and this is Kirk Elliott's report.
It was a big night in the history of the United States Modified Touring Series with its first ever visit to Lakeside Speedway. The large crowd treated to some intense action as Jeremy Payne and Ryan Reuter lead the 30-car field to the green flag. Things get dicey for New Mexico's Johnny Scott in the 1ST, making contact with the 14 of John Tesh and spinning around. Reuter on the inside and Stormy Scott in the 20 race each other hard for the better part of 10 laps as Ryan Gustin was clambering his way from the B main and the 13th starting position. By lap 15, Gustin was inserting himself into what's now a 3-car fight for the lead, and it doesn't take the Iowa driver long assuming command. From that point on, it was all number 19. Ryan Gustin wins his second straight USMTS National Championship main event, the 5th of 2012 and 55th of his career.
Well, we didn't draw very good to start out with. That makes it tough to begin with. I wish they'd go to like a time trial format or something like that, make it a little easier on us and everybody else. But that's how it goes sometimes. The track was great for being the first time here. I was really impressed with it. Looking forward to coming back.
Ironman Challenge B-Mod action. Trouble on the opening lap as Keith Cobb and Steve Goodman collect each other. Rodney Schweitzer in the 74 clips it going by. Belton's Brad Smith grabs the lead on lap 4. Meantime, 13-year-old Trevor Hunt on his first ever night at Lakeside, battling Ben Cates for third, which he eventually takes, but is too far back of Nick Newton and well behind of Smith, who leads a 1-2 Cheetah chassis finish.
Yeah, I'm a top runner, so we just had to go up to the top there and see what happened. I knew Nick would stay down there on the bottom, and so we just kind of went in there a little bit side by side, and luckily I got the little, good end of the stick there and come off the corner with the lead, and just kind of stayed up there, kind of momentum a little bit more. I like that momentum stuff a little bit more than the bottom feeder, so we just kind of kept it on going.
Factory stocks also on the Lakeside card, and Darren Christie was the star of the show. Here, Bearstock makes the topside count on last week's winner, Nate Barnes. Christie scores his second feature win of the season.
Yeah, it was a good track tonight, nice and smooth. It got real dry. It's like I was watching the modified heat races and the B features, and I just told myself I'm starting on the outside. This track's going to come to me, and it did.
The USMTS was at I-35 Speedway on Thursday night, and Chris Brown in the 21 paced the field for 32 laps as Ryan Gustin worked his way up from the 8th starting position. Gustin makes his move for the lead, and once out in front, he was not to be denied. The Reaper speeds on to a convincing win ahead of Brown, and Johnny Scott, Zach Vanderbeek, and John Tesh complete the top 5. In B-Mods, Trevor Hunt inherited the lead from a troubled Chad Clancy on lap 5 of the 20-lap race, and on he goes for his third straight Ironman Challenge win.
Well, we had Tim Setzer here helping us out on the setup deal, and I guess it really just took a good starting spot up front. I think I kind of got a little lucky there. I had a 21C car up in front of me. He looked like he broke just a couple laps into the main, and I was able to capitalize on that and get to the lead and get to a pretty comfortable lead, I guess, is what they're telling me. Then a caution came out, and I got a little worried, thinking some people were going to be a little faster than me and get around me. But the car was handling real good tonight. We had all the forward bite I needed, the side bite. We were perfect. I got to thank Tim Setzer for coming out and helping us tonight. And, I just got to smooth driving, I guess, is how I got it done, eh?
Let's go to Valley Speedway, where on Friday night, David Hartman was the headline attraction in the 600cc micro sprints. 14 ULMA late models take the green flag with Jason Bodenhammer and Bob Test on the front row. Kevin Coyne in the 22 and 133 Chris Hawkins spin. Test out in front, but he has trouble in turn 2. Bodenhammer in the number 3 now in charge and holds off Joe Walkenhorst by about 3 car lengths for his second ULMA win of the year. Non-wing sprints in the final race of the night. Chad Shields and Joshua Stevens lead them to the green. John Helm in the 12 gets spun around and upside down he goes. No one hurt here. It's all Brad Ryan of Higginsville, Missouri, rim riding his way to his first win as Stevens settles for the runner-up spot. Saturday night, it's USRA A-Mods in the grand finale of the weekend. Dean Wille in the 68 going for his 7th win of the year and immediately moves in front from the 3rd hole. Dennis Elliott in the 29 and 53 Chad Lyle make contact. Lyle is out, but Elliott has a flat tire, changes, and rallies back to finish 3rd. Trevor Hunt in the 51 takes over 2nd, but he's too far back to catch Wille, who notches his 9th win overall.
Yeah, we started there, started 2nd row inside and got a really good drive right off the first corner on the first start and drove it in there on the bottom. Car stuck really well. Had good drive, turned through the middle of the corner good, and we got the jump on them and just try to not look back from there.
Again, congratulations to all the winners this week here from RacinBoys TV. And Kirk, a guy that's been winning a lot of races, we're going to have on next here on RacinBoys.
And he is the current USRA points leader at Valley Speedway, and he's going for a national championship this year with over 5 feature victories. Of course, we're talking about Dean Wille having a great 2012.
Yep, we'll be back with more RacinBoys TV with Dean Wille in a moment.
Okay, let's choose up. I'll take Jamal and Tutal. You can have Chubbs and Skippy. Let's go. My ball.
Okay, but you got skins.
Not a good negotiator? You don't have to be a good negotiator at McCarthy Chevrolet. McCarthy guarantees the lowest prices on a new Chevy or we'll pay you $10,000. We guarantee there's no need to shop anyplace else. McCarthy Chevrolet, I-35 and Santa Fe, Olathe.
Thanks for joining us on RacinBoys TV here at Valley Speedway, just east of Kansas City in Grain Valley. Dean Wille has made his mark on the USRA modified competition. Not only has he won 7 feature events, including his 2nd in a row last Friday night, but he's also contending for the USRA National Championship. Let's take a visit down to his home in Warrensburg and hear from one of the hot drivers in this area, Dean Wille.
We started off first night there at Grain Valley and got us our first win. And turned around on week 2, broke right off the bat in hot laps and ended up having to skip the heat race. And we started tailback on the field, got up to I think 5th or 6th, got in a wreck really fast that night and we knew it, and got back up through the pack. Worked there at the end, they had a big old wreck and we got in the middle of it, had to check the car out. I thought I had something wrong and there wasn't anything wrong with it. And so we went tailback again and got back up. Got to 2nd or 3rd, I guess. Jason Bodenhammer and Tim Kirk were leading that night, and lo and behold, they got to racing each other and use each other's equipment up, basically. We slipped in there and got us a 2nd win, so we had 2 in a row right there, and just kind of took that momentum to get the season going. I did a lot of research on it over the winter. I've always liked the idea of the crate motor. For years, I've heard the guys talk about the crate motor and the idea of keeping the dollar amount down, the cost down. I lucked onto this one. I got on Racing Junk looking one day, and I lucked into, the guy had one on there for sale for $5,500, and I offered him $5,000 and he took it, and then I had to come up with the money to pay for it. So we got that in the middle of the winter, and then little at a time, we got the parts and everything to finish putting it together, and were able to put it together. It was time to do something from the engine that I had, and it was either buy some spec heads or I could buy the crate motor for about the same price, same investment either way. I had a pretty good idea that it would be a help to us this year with the crate motor. I thought we would have a really good season at Valley. When we started out the season, my goal was to win a points championship at Grain Valley. Believe it or not, I haven't won a points championship. We've run 2nd multiple years, LA Raceway, Central Missouri Speedway. I've had several 2nd place finishes with wins. But I haven't been able to seal the deal and finish. Number one reason we haven't finished and had any championships was because of motor problems and motor failures. So we've eliminated that this year. We've eliminated a lot of the failures, and when you eliminate those and you eliminate the DNFs, everything else pretty well takes care of itself. So it's enabled us to be that much paying attention to our setup that much more. Well, this is an old race car. I know the race car. We were really fast at the end of last season with it at Green Valley. I think we had 3 second place finishes. We were leading one night and broke a gear at the end of the season in the Fast Fall Series there at Valley. We were actually pretty dominant in that sense. We just weren't getting the wins out of it. You know, like I say, 3 seconds and leading and broke. And so we knew we were fast. Getting the crate motor, with me being a little bit heavier of a driver, I weigh 275 pounds. I'm at a weight disadvantage with a regular steel-headed motor, which the other guys running the aluminum heads and all anyway. We were at a pretty big weight disadvantage. By going to the crate motor, it enabled us to get down. Now we're at the weight that everybody else is. So we're more equal to everybody else, where I used to be 180 pounds heavier on overall weight. I still weigh 2,400 pounds. The rule's at 2,300. So I'm still heavier than what the rules allow by quite a bit, but we're more on an equal playing field to the rest of the drivers, which has really helped us pick up our game. Weight placement is key, but when I get my big butt in the car versus a 140-pound driver getting in the car, I spread the weight more front to rear than a lighter weight driver would anyway. You know, so they're talking about penalizing some of these guys with weight, which really I'm already at a disadvantage with the weight penalty. We're already there. We're already doing it naturally with the weight on the car. So if they're going to talk about doing that, then to me they need to factor in everything else that goes along with the equation, if that's the way they think they want to police that. Right now we were able to move stuff in the car to make everything balance out with what we had, and it's worked pretty well for us. We do have a lot of help. First off, K&R Heating and Cooling. We've got Dilday & Sons Asphalt Paving and Tree Service here out of Warrensburg. 7-Up of Warrensburg. All 7-Up products they provide are drinks for everything. They keep us well hydrated. We have Albright Car Wash. They're right across the street from me here at the shop. I drive my car to the car wash, would you believe, and wash it every week. So they take care of us pretty good. We also have Sharky's Bar and Grill, Lee Summit, and Warrensburg, 2 locations. And of course, my business here is Gator Graphics. We make signs, banners, vehicle lettering, channel lettering, electronic message centers. We pretty much do it all, and I guess you could say I was the primary sponsor on the car. Of course, I gotta thank my wife for putting up with me every week. Sean Gwynn is my head crew chief at the racetrack, and need to thank my parents, my mother and father, for helping get me started. My dad, Larry Wille, he started racing shortly before I was born, back in the 70s, and raced 25 or 30 years, and he kind of got me the start and got me going in racing.
I think the big key to Dean Wille's success this year is he was able to find the right combination towards the end of last season, and so they were able to be well prepared during the off season, hit the ground running at the start of this year, and win a bunch of races right off the bat, and that kind of momentum has been able to carry its way here through the middle portion of the season. When we come back, we're going to be out at Lakeside Speedway and visit with the president and founder of the United States Modified Touring Series, Todd Staley. We're coming right back. Don't go away.
Okay, let's choose up. I'll take Jamal and Tutal. You can have Chubbs and Skippy. Let's go. My ball.
Okay, but you got skins.
Not a good negotiator? You don't have to be a good negotiator at McCarthy Chevrolet. McCarthy guarantees the lowest prices on a new Chevy or we'll pay you $10,000. We guarantee there's no need to shop anyplace else. McCarthy Chevrolet, I-35 and Santa Fe, Olathe.
Back to RacinBoys TV, brought to you by McCarthy Chevrolet here at Lakeside Speedway. An historic night, the first ever sanctioned visit by the United States Modified Touring Series. Its founder and president, Todd Staley, has brought this series a long way in a short period of time, and it's got a bright future indeed, as we spoke with Todd about what lies ahead for the USMTS.
We've talked to Mark quite a few times, and never could get nothing put together, and finally got it done, and this has probably been the most exciting fan base that I've ever had. People calling, ordering tickets, and just everything. It's really great to be at the Lakeside Speedway, and it'll be big for the USMTS. Well, I'll tell you, the series has really been doing good this year. We've We started our national championship series, all 4,000 to win, 400 to start shows, and we have paying 30,000 to win the points for these national championship series races, and they've been doing really well. We've averaged about 41 cars a race. We've had a low of 27 cars, but that was at a track that doesn't even run modifieds. And but the series as a whole is doing very good, and looking forward to 2013 and beyond. This year we did our Casey's Cup. We kind of changed it from years past. We always had our regional points. Drivers earn points in each region, which qualified them for our hunt. And this year we kind of changed it up and just took points for the whole season, and they can carry into the championship 100 points. And the thing that hurt us on that deal was we got rid of our point funds in those regions, and it's kind of hurt our Casey's Cup races. So next year we're going to only put on 54 races, which compared to the past is about, it's not quite half, but 54 races. We'll have 24 Casey's Cup races and 30 national championship races, and we'll have some big money on line for those races. That's the thing about the Casey's General Store USMTS, powered by Swan Energy. We have the most competitive series probably in the country as far as racers go. On any given night, there's 30 to 40 different drivers that can win a race, which makes it very, very tough. I mean, if you take Jason Hughes and Rodney Sanders and Kelly Schrack and Chris Brown, and I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. I mean, it just makes it very, very tough, and that's what makes it great for the fans. And that's our biggest goal, is that we can start packing in the fans like what we're going to have tonight here at Lakeside. Any changes that you make to the modified racing world is going to cost racers money. So we're trying to do some things to keep people involved in the sport. I don't know that anything can be fixed on the deal. It's kind of like the late models. They kind of just got into this pattern, and it makes it very tough. Us as sanctioning bodies, I mean, we're trying to do our things to get the cost down, and we got some ideas of things that we're going to quit allowing because it does cost money, and it does scare the local racers away too. So we're going to just keep working at it and see what we can do. And we're similar to the NASCAR with SOTA, UMP, IMCA. We have a great points fund. That's the thing that we do. We really strive on the most is we put together a good points fund for the drivers on a weekly basis. Modified track champions guaranteed $1,500. Then we have national point funds that's based on your driver's best 20 nights. And I mean, our goal there is the same thing. I mean, we're working on cost-effective racing. We went from 14 to 17 tracks. We went up to 37 tracks, and then this year we're at 52 tracks. And we've got 2 full-time employees working in our office now, and our goal is to get that to 100 racetracks for 2013. I mean, we probably won't get 100 there, but we're going to keep working hard at it. Yeah, we started the Ironman series, I don't know if it was I think it was last year. We started the B-mods and stock cars, kind of the factory stocks. Started a support series with it. Pays decent money for the B-mods. Biggest thing is, I mean, travel expenses are so expensive right now that it's tough to get people to travel all over. And when you have 26 races, it's based on your best 12 races. So I mean, it's tough for guys to make the travel all the way down here. But we'll have a good field of cars that have raced 3, 4, 5 times already this year with us, and it should be a great B-mod race also.
Well, Kansas City is an important market for this fledgling touring series for modified racing in the country, and Lakeside Speedway a big part of that, and certainly a big night here. We thank Todd Staley for joining us here on RacinBoys TV. When we come back, we're going to talk with one of the top drivers in the Grand National Division here at Lakeside Speedway, Gary Donaldson, when RacinBoys TV continues.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinions, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Welcome back to RacinBoys TV. One of the top drivers in the Grand National Division has been Gary Donaldson, not only contending for a championship, but also the winner of more feature wins in this class than any other. And here's the conversation I had with Gary Donaldson.
I have to say, yeah, I tied my personal best with 5 so far this season. I did 5 wins in a season back in '04 in the factory stocks when I won a championship up at I-35 Speedway. You got to have a well-balanced car. It does take a little bit of seat time knowing how to get around the track. You know, it just, you know, just goes back to having a well-balanced car and being able to carry momentum around the track and kind of seeing things set up before you get to them, seeing a pack of cars, picking your move a little bit before you get there, one of those type of things. I got started back in 2002 in a factory stock class up at I-35 Speedway. I've had numerous people help me. The Kleins, they kind of got me involved in it in my early years and kind of progressed from there. I've raced factory stock cars, won a championship up at I-35 Speedway back in '04. Like I said, we had 5 wins that year. You know, took a couple of years off, got in a Grand National, kind of played with the late model a little bit, but we've been having pretty good success here with this Grand National, and you know, so in a nutshell, that's what it is. I don't know, we got probably 25, 28 career wins, somewhere right around in there. Haven't really tallied them up, but I'd like to get to 100 before I'm done. I come back from taking about a year and a half off from racing, so then I jumped into Grand National. You know, the 2 links and the 4 links, you know, you just got to really find out what works good for balance. You know, having the car well balanced, you know, wheelbase, stuff like that. We were playing with different wheelbases and this and that. And, you know, it takes a little bit. You know, good part of a half a season or so to get the car underneath of you. My dad, he was part of involved in me getting back into it. And then I, that year in '08, lost him. So it was kind of a tough deal. And when we did finally get back to Victory Lane in '09, I dedicated that to him, and he was always a big part of our racing. So to be having this success, I just hope he's up there looking down smiling. I mean, you can have a well-balanced race car that drives good and be a little under horsepowered and still get around the track fairly decent. But if you got a good handling car and got good horsepower, sometimes that seems to help out too. They're intriguing. They kind of remind you of a late model, and there's a lot more sheet metal on them. You can kind of bang around and get tore up, but I don't know. I just kind of like it because it's just a step above maybe a stock car, and you still get a little bit of horsepower, and it's a step down from modified. So you can have all the suspension stuff that you can't quite get in a stock car. So it's kind of a blend, you know. I got to thank my fiance Kelly. She has been my biggest supporter. My mother, my brothers and sisters. You know, the whole family deal. I got some sponsors on board. I've got a new sponsor, Advantage Tax and Accounting, all about concrete. Yancey's Automotive, of course. Shocker Chassis, those guys, they really know what they're doing. But I always told everybody, let's get the first 5 to 8 races in, and then we'll have a look at it. Of course, you know, when you're reading the form boards and everybody's constantly telling you, well, you're at the point, it's obvious. Yeah, we do want to win a championship out here at Lakeside. That's very obvious. But I don't want to get the points into my head where I'm starting to change the way I'm driving. I've always figured if we could win races, run up front, the points will take care of themselves. Well, there you have it, Gary Donaldson, a driver in the Grand National division, Kirk, and he's got a lot of wins out there and seems to be a pretty popular driver.
Yeah, and there's been no short of controversy at times, too, out there with Gary Donaldson and some of the drivers that have been fighting for the championship, like Kelby Ostrander and also Darren Kling, who won here a couple of weeks ago. But it is a class that is very exciting to watch, and the competition has been fierce every Friday night out at Lakeside.
No pun intended when we're talking about fighting out there at the racetrack as well. The Grand National division has been a class that a lot of people thought was going to fall to the wayside for a long time, but it has survived in the car count now better than ever. I think a lot of people were surprised by that when they decided to bring in the B-Mod class. But everybody is rallied behind the Grand National division. It started off as the Charger class in 1989 on pavement. It kind of evolved into a sportsman class and now is called the Grand National class. A great place for a lot of drivers to cut their teeth on the big, fast track at Lakeside Speedway. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. For Kirk Elliott, I'm Scott Traylor. Thanks for watching RacinBoys TV, brought to you by McCarthy Chevrolet.